Why is no one using Super Dragons? In our opinion, Super Drags are extremely underrated. They are simple, effective, and can work in both Legends League and in Wars. In today's video, I'm going to show you 4 Super Dragon attacks. And I'm really interested about Super Dragons because they're pretty handy. They can definitely take down bases, but you see at the top of the Legends League leaderboard, E-Drags get used far more than Super Drags do. And what's the reason for that? Well, undoubtedly, E-Dragons are a little bit stronger, but there is one style of base where Super Dragons are definitely better, and it's these double poison tower bases. Super Drags, look, they don't love the poison towers, but they definitely go a lot better against the poison towers than E-Drags do, because E-Drags' biggest weakness is obviously how slow they shoot, and the poison tower just further makes that an issue. Now, has to set up a funnel here because notice his army comp, right? We've got the rocket balloons and the super dragons, which means no super wall breakers. Now, if I was going to make one change to the army that SR comes in with today, it's that I would bring the Yak with the King. It sounds bad because the Frosty is extremely powerful, but he has to use his SR here, has to use the King ability to get through the wall. And if he had the Yak, he'd be able to save that King ability for later. Super Drags coming in on the top side. We use 1 to funnel on the short side, and then 5 as the main push. Flame Flinger on the top side has set a really good funnel. The funnel is everything with Super Drags. If they go inside the base, particularly if it's as compact as this, they will get the 3-star. If they don't go inside the base, which they seem to love doing, then you will struggle. We'll have a look at the spell comp at the end of this attack because it's very interesting. He does actually bring 3 skeleton spells. There's our final free spell. Obviously, you can't really use a skeleton spell in front of a multi-inferno. And saying that, he literally just did that. Now, 10 balloons come out of the Flame Flinger on the top side, which was surprising to me. Not exactly a normal sort of CC that you see used, but it's going to be incredibly effective at taking down the back end of the base, because if there's not much splash damage around, then the balloons will just mow it all down. You see the RC here actually had 3 pets on her for a second until the Diggy went down. Still got the Unicorn and the Frosty there. So the Frosty, don't get me wrong, it's put in great work this attack, so you can definitely make a case, as the Scatter literally couldn't shoot. You can definitely make a case that the Frosty is better than the Yak, but I don't know. I just imagine, especially on bases like this, you would look at bringing the Yak. But when it comes to Legends League, you don't know which sort of base you're running into, and it definitely worked out for him here. So obviously not a crushing triple, but it's a really, really nicely secured triple there. Let's get on to some other base styles. This is a box base with an extremely deep town hall, so it's going to be difficult to take down if you're doing, say, a queen charge attack, but it's going to work really well for our smash here. So 3 rocket balloons used to take down an air defense. Pretty good value. Yes, it is 24 camp space, but to get down an air defense, particularly one that would be annoying our Super Drags immediately, definitely worth it. Now, I really like what he does here. He doesn't have many balloons left, but he's going to invest 2 of them to try and trigger this Rage Tower. And there he goes, gets the Rage Tower down, and that's huge, right? Because obviously all these Rage defenses would hurt if they activated late, but it's also the Eagle Artillery. The Eagle Artillery, if it's Rage, can really destroy your Super Dragons, even though they've got that many hit points, will still go down. We use the skeleton spell on the bottom side to tank the ground boat and the monolith. There goes our Warden ability. Yet again, uses like 1 drag to funnel, and then the other 5 should go nicely in the base. Now, the sweeper is being a bit of a pain here. We do use the blimp. There wasn't really a lot of flame flinger value, and getting that tunnel down early was always going to be nice. And look at this. The rage spell is not going to be able to go off now, the defensive rage spell that is, because we activated it early, and because of that, our super drags can kind of mow through the area. Our king and queen on the bottom side are doing a really good job. The RC is now being used with them as well. You can see we've gone through all our skeleton spells, so I think we might have used all 3 of them for that hero push, but it's worth it. And look at it. We've only just lost our first super drag. That's insane. So we're suddenly now down to 2 super drags, so they're all going to go down really quickly. But the 6 super drags just gutted the entire base, and that's what they're really good at. That's what they're really good at. As long as you can funnel them in, you will have a lot of successful attacks. RC ability goes off, gets rid of the air defense, and we are going to take down the back end of the base. Yet again, it doesn't really look like it's overkill or anything, but this is a pretty convincing triple. Queen ability is still up. RC lives. GG. Look at the time left in this replay, less than 2 minutes. So you know that SR here is just going to run over this base yet again using 3 rocket balloons. Gets down an air defense and obviously, what was it, an archer tower as well. We got the queen set in the funnel on the other side. And look at this, right? So we pop the warden ability. As you can see, there is probably 2 SAMs coming up here, so definitely worth it. But look at these 2 sweepers. They're both covering the entire back end of the base. So if you send super drags in there, it'd be really annoying to deal with. So we're going to go straight into the town hall. And I really like this replay here because, sending just a straight up spam attack into the town hall is often a really bad thing to do. So I was very curious to see how this would go. Obviously, we've got a super drag on the top side funneling, the king and queen on the bottom side funneling. So all is going well in that respect, but can the super dragons survive? Because the town hall poison is obviously brutal, but look at this. The skeleton spell putting in work, making sure that monolith cannot do too much. The super drags still are taking a lot of damage, but it's not up to them to take down the entire core of the base. They've done pretty well already. We still have 3 of them up in the core of the base. And look at this. He's freezing the rage tower. Now, he probably should have froze the eagle with it rather than the multi, but he deliberately does not want this rage tower to go off at the moment, because then if it did, that super drag is potentially not going to be able to take the eagle down or that ground bow, and because of that, yes, we've used all our spells, but the Rage Tower has gone off early. By the time our Queen gets anywhere near this all, the Rage Tower will have worn off, I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, the RC got wrecked by 1 ground bow, but look at this. Queen's coming in just as the Rage Tower ends, and she's going to waltz her way through the rest of this base. I couldn't quite believe this attack, though, honestly. Like, often air spam attacks going straight into the town hall is a complete fail unless you're doing a queen charge recall style hit. But none of that, and we even use the blimp as well, not even like a back end flame flinger, just blimp straight through the town hall, and this base got wrecked. Diamond base here, kind of a typical diamond that you see. Yet again, trying to use the 3 rocket balloons to take down an air defense. But he sees all these Teslas pop, and look at this, he's just going to use the flame flinger. Now, I don't know if this was the plan. I'm pretty sure he planned on using a flame flinger, but hypothetically, if he got rid of that air defense with his rocket balloons, then he could have flame flingered the other side of the base just as easily. And saying that with the arch tower there, probably not. So I think he planned to flame flinger this regardless. But yeah, rocket balloons coming in really handy, not just for taking down air defenses, but for finding the Teslas that are on the base. Now, look at this. Using the skeleton spells to tank for the flame flinger. Kind of a nice approach. It's not something that I think I would do that often because it is quite expensive. But if you've got 3 skeleton spells, why not? And it's going to allow our flame flinger to do some good work here. So flame flinger going to go through. Now, look at these 2 sweepers covering the entire back end of the base. Super drags can go through sweepers, but their pathing AI is kind of wonky all the time. So you really don't want to have to go through a sweeper if you can help it. So we're just going to go straight into the town hall. Yet again, sounds insane. And we pop our warden ability early, but this kind of makes sense. A, the traps you see on the outside of the base, but B, that multi and monolith would have wrecked all of our balloons. Now we keep our balloons alive. They're kind of going into the core of the base. Let's see if they can activate some traps. Have to freeze the town hall. Can't let that do too much work. The super dragon actually keeps the flame flinger alive for a second, which I thought was really nicely done by the 2 of them together. And yeah, the super drags, they don't have much HP, but they don't have to have much. They do so much damage, and look at this. The super dragon and the warden together take down the eagle just. And there's not really a lot of base left now. Look at this. The back end of the base, extremely weak. And that's another reason to go straight into the town hall. As you see on the top side, the heroes are having one heck of a fight versus a rage tower and some ground bows. But obviously, they are going to win out. But that's another reason to go straight into the town hall. There's a lot of value near the town hall. Yes, the town hall's going to hurt. But you will roll over the back end of the base because the heroes and the 10 loons in your CC are extremely good at it. Pops the RC ability. And that is another triple. We got one more diamond base for you just to show how OP this approach is. A couple of balloons on top of the wizard tower. Then we send another one. Unfortunately, the wizard tower is on the flame flinger. Gets a couple of hits us. So not exactly the start you wanted here from SR. but not that bad. So Flame Flinger doing its thing, gonna take down the air defense. Now you see 2 mortars on the back end here. That's often really bad for Flame Flingers, and a lot of base builders are probably reasonably happy accepting that, you know, not going to put many baits there for the Flame Flinger because the 2 mortars should be deterrent enough. But not for SR here because we've got the skeleton spell. Look at that, places it just in the middle. I think he could have waited for the Flame Flinger to have shot at the cannon. I don't think it's in range of any mortars at the moment, but can't hurt. Uses a couple of rocket loons to get rid of 1 mortar. And now we're just going to use the remaining skellies that we have and the couple of archers in this army comp to take care of the final mortar. And now our mortar is going to take the Eagle artillery down. And that's obviously huge because the Eagle does a lot of damage to our poor super drags. Now, admittedly, we are going to start our super drags in a second because we've got to get the attack rolling soon. So the Eagle might get 1 shot off, but we're pretty likely going to warden through it anyway as we do. We split the rages, so 1 on the right, 1 on the left. Now, we only got 1 extra rage. E-Dragon attacks often have 4 rages, but we've only got 1 remaining here. Now, that was really unlucky. The super drags actually targeted the Invis Tower before the Town Hall. So he had the Invis Tower frozen, but there's not much you can do when it goes down anyway. But the Super Dragons are doing really well. He's got a nice spread of them throughout the base, and this is what you really want. Rage Tower goes off, and obviously this is really bad news for our Super Drags because they're going to get wrecked here. But they've just got to take down a couple more defenses, and yet again, we have our 3 heroes together. They've all got their abilities, and it's just up to them to overwhelm the back end of the base, and you know they can do it. King ability goes off really late here. I don't know why we left it that late. Really, the only way we fail this attack is if we miss a couple of abilities. Arcee's going to go, and she's got enough to finish off the base, and that is the video. So, the real question is that I need to know from you guys in the chat, and let me know down below. 1, have you used Super Drags like this at Town Hall 15, and do you think they're good, or at least nearly as good as the as E-Drags? And 2, would you like to see some more Super Drag videos? For instance, we could do a Queen Charge Recall Super Drag video. I know someone who does attacks with the army. He's extremely effective with it. A different style of Super Drag hit for sure. But I wanted to start off with this one because we haven't really done mass Super Drags on the channel in ages. And I don't know why, because they are quite effective. If you want to see one of the best pro teams in the world using Queen Charge Recall Super Drags, then I'll link it on the left. It's not just that army though, it's a bunch of other insane armies that they use to finish 40-0 in the World Championship qualifiers.